So this is adding on to part two. I didn't want to make that other video too long. Sometimes it doesn't send if the video is too long. So to add on, kind of fast forward into the future, I would like to have my own children. And this class got me thinking about how your relationship with your children is really important, as well as who your child views you and your partner as. So we learned about the different styles of attachment that stem from the relationship between the parent and the child. Because there are these working models of attachment that this child has with the parent, and that working model has the power to influence the child later in their intimate relationship. So to explain the working model a little bit more, in the attachment styles, there was this chart that we did in class once, and it was at the top, it said, is the attachment figure near and responsive? And then it either had the option to say yes, maybe, no, and there was a child at the bottom. So for the infant who is under yes, that meant that they experienced security and love and confidence as a child towards their caregiver. And as a result, they were able to be social and to explore and to be confident in this exploring, because they knew that their caregiver was there. So as they get older, they will probably be able to love and explore relationships with more freedom and more security. They will most likely make very good partners. They will not always be fishing for reassurance. They'll be positive. They'll be supportive to their partner. So they will overall make a good partner because they had a good relationship with their caregiver. For the infant who is under the maybe category, they tend to experience fear and anxiety. And because of these emotions, they're going to be always checking and looking back and seeing if their caregiver is visible, and attempting to reestablish contact and whining and pleading and clinging, because you're scared that caregiver is going to go away. So when they're grown up and in an intimate relationship for themselves, they may be the partner who is seeking for attention and clingy and needs reassurance, worrying about what their partner's doing, that type of thing. And then for a child who is under no, meaning their caregiver was not present, they're going to experience defensiveness. They're going to avoid close contact. They're going to be more independent and not want to rely on anybody else. So when they grow up and have a relationship, they're really going to struggle. They're going to be hesitant to open up with people. They're going to be unsure about new relationships, and they're most likely not going to be a very good and positive partner. So as a parent, when I'm older, I will keep that in mind, and obviously I'm going to want the best for my children when they grow up. So being present, being a good caregiver, showing that love and affection. So also what affects the children, not only the relationship that the child has with the parent, but the relationship that the parents have with each other, what the child sees. The parents are role models for the child. So how they handle conflict, like I said earlier, do they push it off or do they communicate? What was I saying? I'm sorry, I lost track of where I was. Right, so it's important for the parents to be happy with their partner for themselves, but for their children, because they are that role model. Children who live in a house with a lot of conflict, or parents who fight, there are studies that we learn about that show that they're not the best behaved. They may struggle in school. They may battle mental health conditions and problems like anxiety, depression. They'll have trouble sleeping. They will not demonstrate positive habits in their own relationships. We talked about how they're very sensitive to conflict then. There were some studies that were trying to prove, they may be desensitized to conflict, but actually it shows that they're even more sensitized. So say they're over at a friend's house and the friend's parents start to just bicker a little. They're going to get tense and they're going to say, I know where this leads, I know where this is going, and they're going to get scared. And that's obviously not a good quality to have and a way to be thinking. So, maintaining healthy relationship and good communication skills, and when you do have conflict as a parent, knowing when divorce would be more beneficial to you and your children than trying to hold out and trying to push through the conflict for the sake of staying together for your kids. Obviously, the main goal is to stay together, but from these studies that I was just talking about with children in conflict, it may be just better and more acceptable to divorce so that they can just have more stability and, again, know what good communication is and know how to handle conflicts. So, there's a lot of valuable information that we learned in our class. And I think it kind of reassured a lot of what I thought to believe was important and crucial for relationships and what I thought and think that I do want in my relationships. But it definitely made a difference, like seeing all these backgrounds and these studies and the whys and the hows, and providing support for all those wants that I want in a relationship. So using these skills to maintain good relationships, whether it's with a current romantic partner or a sexual partner or friendship or parent, and then later in the future with husband, with lifelong friends, with children, again with parents. So yeah, that hopefully everything that we have learned in life will help us all endure the good life and lead us to have successful and happy relationships. So thank you for teaching all of this information. I really, really did enjoy your class. My friend and I would always say, like, we can't wait for, what do we call it? Interpersonal. We'd say interpersonal. And it's a bummer that we had to end the way we did on Zoom, but we all made the most of it, and we would definitely miss your class, so thank you. Have a good summer.